In the news tonight, Governor Obiano restates commitment to lasting reforms in the education sector. Stakeholders call for continued partnership between government and religious organizations in ensuring quality education. NAS Elections Tribunal in Enugu receives 10 petitions as deadline elapses. Manhunt commences after gunman opened fire in Utrecht, Netherlands. Good evening and thanks for joining us on ABS Television News. I am Franklin Onyekachi. The news in details. Governor Willie Obiano has counseled students to remain focused to the prevailing challenges facing the academic pursuit to be successful in life. The governor made the call during a mass to mark the first year of his second term in office, officiated by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Onitsha, Most Reverend Valerian Okeke. Chibuzo Obidike has the details.
While awakening the students' spirit with the melodious song that saw him through during his school days, Governor Obiano said that with full concentration in academics, they will succeed.
Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and I will never be unhappy again. So if you do so, you are motivated in everything you are doing.
Going further, the governor revealed that through the State Ministry of Education, his administration will keep an eye on all the schools across the state to ensure that they maintain the required standards, both in academic performance and facilities.
Young ones not at their premises today. I was once like you. Let me tell you, it's not every time you wake up that you want to go and study. And that's the truth. Sometimes you're not in the mood and what have you. But if you have your eyes on the ball, you will always be encouraged to study.
In Oka, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
Anambra state government has restated its move in reinforcing the separation of gas plants from petrol stations across the state to reduce the rate of explosions in filling stations. The Commissioner for Lands, Mr. Anambra, disclosed this while speaking to journalists in Oka. Correspondent Chibuzo Obidike again reports.
According to Mr. Onukuba, the directive of Governor Willie Obiano directing all gas plants to relocate is because gas and fuel cannot coexist, as it poses a great danger and can cause fire outbreaks, urging all filling station owners to adhere to the directive or face the full wrath of the law. As according to him, Anambra cannot continue counting their losses to fire explosion from filling stations and tankers.
It's being in filling stations because of the danger of fire outbreaks. They don't coexist. So the directive is that all gas stations within filling stations should be relocated to various away from the hinterland, away from filling stations, and they should be relocated to where they suit best.
On the encroachment of developers into government reserve areas, the Lands Commissioner pointed out that his ministry will continue to sanction any defaulter who fail to key into the defined scheme stipulated by state government. In the area of solid disposal, Mr. Onukuba disclosed that the state government has transformed the Anambra State Waste Management Agency to work 24 hours in 7 days, which the efforts are written in all parts of the state, and revealed that before the end of Governor Willie Obiano's second term, all slums in the state would have been developed.
The same vein, they ensure the immediate establishment of the Upper Capital Development Authority (ACTDM) to fast-track the efficient development of Upper Capital territory. This has yielded a lot of fruits, as one can easily observe the fast and efficient growth of the capital city without compromising aesthetics.
On his part, the state chairman, Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, Town Planner Amechina Madakonam, who identified that uncontrolled and haphazard growth of urban areas results to insecure cities, urged the state government to always be on lookout to ensure that developers maintain to lay down principles of town planning.
To ensure that town planning ideas are carefully and professionally applied to routine management of our urban areas as well as rural areas. Presently, our urban areas are witnessing uncontrolled and haphazard growth which is already resulting in disorderly and insecure cities or urban areas.
In Oka, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
The upbringing of children through qualitative education has been said to be the only way to groom useful citizens for the country. Stakeholders in the education sector harped on this during the pastoral visit by the Catholic Bishop of Oka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Ezokafo, to St. Patrick's College, Oka, also used to commemorate the feast of the college patron saint. Kenechukwu Chukwudi has the details.
In his homily, Bishop Ezokafo advised children to be serious with their studies as it is the gateway to a better life and also live moderately during the Lenten period.
The church continues in education because we are interested in making sure that we train children according to the mind of Christ, according to what will benefit the state.
The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Josephat Akabike, in his speech commended mission schools for their remarkable contributions towards promoting quality education and complementing efforts of government.
Present government of Chief Dr. William should also do the same way. We've been supporting the schools financially, physically, and everything. What is important is that we give the people of Anambra State sound education.
Also speaking, the member representing Oka Constituency 1 in the State House of Assembly, Dr. Nnamdi Okafor, noted that the mission schools still retain the status and glory they are known for and called on stakeholders to always extend support to them individually and collectively.
I am a strong believer of mission schools. They not only impact knowledge, they also impact character, discipline. They also coach them spiritually and morally.
In separate addresses of welcome, the college manager, Reverend Father Celestine Anekwe, and the senior prefect of the college, Ms. Chidera Nwabam, said the college has achieved much in its 4 years of existence, especially in external examinations and competitions, through the unalloyed support of the bishop and other benefactors, and appealed for the provision of equipment for practical lessons and other learning materials. The event featured administration of First Holy Communion and Sacrament of Confirmation on students of the college by Bishop Ezokafo. From the St. Patrick's Cathedral in Oka, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
Christians have been encouraged to remain focused and uphold their faith in God. The Auxiliary Bishop of Onitsha Archdiocese, Most Reverend Dennis Isuzo, gave the encouragement during the 2019 annual weekend of the National Association of Philosophy Students, NAPS, Pope John Paul II Major Seminary of Uno, Oka South Local Government Area. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo was there and now reports.
The two-day event, which had in attendance members of the association and some Catholic priests drawn from within and outside the state, exposed the students on the need to become great thinkers to be able to positively change the world. Most Reverend Isizo, who recalled how devoted the early Christians served God, cautioned present Christians against being distracted by the scientific innovations in the world. Describing God as the answer to human problems and challenges, Most Reverend Isizo pointed out that when one allows himself to be carried away by mere human achievements, it denies him the blessings and presence of God. In a paper presentation on the theme of the event, which is Contemporary Trend Towards Secularism and Aloofness from God, Issues, Problems, and the Way Out, a guest speaker from the Catholic Archdiocese of Onitsha, Reverend Father Josephat Obi Ogwejiofor, who described secularism as the principle of separation of religious belief and the state, harped on the need for secularity of governance, as according to him, it enables the government to work for all its citizens, irrespective of religious affiliation or creed.
Secularism is a belief system that reveals religion or believes that religion should not be part of the affairs of the state or part of public education.
In a remark, the president of the association, Mr. Isaiah Abba, described the theme of the event as apt as it addressed the issue of Christians forgetting their real position and pursuing things that are ephemeral, saying that the event has helped in molding them into better persons.
We had an intellectual discussion, and the theme of that discussion was federal character. Is it a democratic principle in action or promotion of mediocrity? And it was a fruitful one in which seminarians and our invitees shared ideas and gained knowledge on how to tackle issue of federal character.
In another paper presentation on close relationship between religion and politics, a guest speaker from the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka, Reverend Father Emeka Nwoke, while emphasizing on the roles of religion in politics, called on religious leaders to continue to canvass for restructuring of the Nigerian nation, as according to him, it remains a necessary step towards a successful future for the country. In a vote of thanks, Reverend Father John Eke thanked the organizers and expressed the hope that the association will move to an enviable height. From Pope John Paul II Major Seminary, Okpuno, in Awka South local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
In this era of prevalence of social vices, when evil is taking over godly living, it is proper to dedicate children to God for protection and guidance. For this reason, the family of Mr. and Mrs. Francis Ekbone of Orange Daily Newspaper, Oka, decided to dedicate their newborn baby, Master Emmanuel Chuzarame Bere Ekbone, who they had been waiting for 5 years. Amaka Chibuzo-Koye was at the dedication mass, and her report is taken from here.
In a homily at St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Ifitoka, Reverend Father Peter Okoli said that God created the sacrament of matrimony for multiplications and companion, and that children should be nurtured, groomed, and raised in a godly way so as to run their race and draw men unto him. Reverend Father Okoli maintained that Christians should believe in their faith as the biblical Abraham had covenant with Christ and profess Christ for his blessings to abound. For Comrade Francis Ekbone, who is the state vice chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and the father of the newborn, they sought the Lord and waited for 5 years before God remembered them and thanked him for the gift which he noted they will nurture and groom, having dedicated him in his altar. Comrade Ekbone encouraged all awaiting couples to exercise patience, for God will locate them for the blessings of the womb.
I'm impressed and I am grateful to God for this honor, for this gift which he gave to my family, and will always remain grateful to him for what he's doing for people.
Special thanks given by the family and his friends to thank God for the arrival of the newborn baby was the climax of the service.
No fewer than 10 petitions have been filed before the National Assembly Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Enugu. A check at the tribunal secretariat in Enugu revealed that the petitions arising from the outcome of the February 23 National Assembly elections were challenging 3 senatorial results and 7 House of Representatives results. Further breakdown of the petitions reveal that out of the 10 petitions, 9 were filed by candidates of the All Progressives Congress, while 1 was filed by a candidate of African People's Alliance. 21 days required by law for the filing of petitions arising from elections has lapsed. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has declared a trading surplus of 12.13 billion naira in its financials for December 2018. Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Meikanti Baru, in a statement on its monthly financial and operations report for December 2018, signed by its Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Mr. Ndoga Mado, the NNPC said its positive financial performance in the month under review was in spite of disturbing reports of breaches on its assets. Ogamado attributed the positive swing to higher revenue numbers posted by the NNPC's upstream subsidiary, the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, which was targeting a 500,000 barrels per day crude oil output by 2020. He cited NPDC's continuous revenue drive arising from recent average weekly production of 332,000 barrels per day as the main driver of the positive outlook. Ogamado stated that there appears to be no let-up in the activities of vandals who in December last year pushed pipeline breaches across the country by a whopping 34 percentage points. He explained that within the period of December 2018, 257 pipeline points were vandalized, out of which 1 pipeline point failed to be welded and 6 pipeline points were ruptured, adding that this was compared to 197 breaches on these pipelines in November last year. And on the foreign scene, a manhunt is underway after a gunman opened fire inside a tram in the Dutch city of Utrecht. Police have named a suspect in the case and released a picture of him. 1 person is feared dead and several were wounded in the shooting incident. According to police spokesman Jules Lanschag, Dutch authorities are considering a possible terrorist motive for the shooting, which happened in 24 October Square at 10:45 a.m. today. Police say Gökmen, aged 37, who was born in Turkey, is wanted following the incident. They have asked locals to contact authorities immediately if they see him. The image, which appears to have been taken from CCTV footage on board the tram, is time-stamped at 10:41, roughly 4 minutes before the incident took place. Earlier, the Netherlands National Coordinator for Security and Counter-Terrorism, J. Asbarbach, tweeted, "Crisis team is activated." Asbarbach added in a follow-up post that the threat level in Utrecht province has been raised to 5, the highest in the country, meaning critical. And in the world of sports, Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo is facing disciplinary action for his celebration after one of the 3 goals he scored in last week's 3-1 win over Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. UEFA said today in Zurich that the Portuguese will face a hearing on Thursday for improper conduct during the last 16-second leg match, where Juventus completed a 3-2 aggregate win. Ronaldo made a similar gesture to Atletico coach Diego Simon, who celebrated his team's opening goal in the first leg by turning to the crowd and putting his hands on his trousers. Simon was fined €20,000 for the incident but escaped a touchline ban for the return match. Juventus faced Ajax Amsterdam in their quarterfinal of the Champions League. And that's the size of our news package tonight. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website at www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/absradiotelevision. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at absradiotv. And to end the news, another look at the top stories. Governor Obiano has restated commitment to lasting reforms in the education sector. Stakeholders have called for continued partnership between government and religious organizations in ensuring quality education. NAS Elections Tribunal in Enugu has received 10 petitions as deadline elapses. Manhunt has commenced after gunman opened fire in Utrecht, Netherlands. And that's the news. Thanks for watching. I am Franklin Onyekachi, wishing you have a pleasant night rest.